Responsibility as a Christian. Turn that down a little bit, please. Today we'll be coming from 1 Timothy chapter 5. Responsibility as a father. You know, basically they're the same thing, because you keep things going because you love or you care from somebody. This does not come automatically in a person. I remember when I was young, man, I was terrible. Had a girlfriend that I was wanting to marry, and pregnant at the time. I couldn't hold a job. It took me years just to learn how to hold a job, and truthfully, if God hadn't come to our rescue, I don't know how many times we would have been in a terrible situation, going hungry, and the babies needing things, and you just name it, you know. And not only that, but there is probably 1 million young men today who are going through the exact same thing. You know, if there's any parents out there that care, they should get their child and sit down. If he's 19, 20 years old, having trouble in that area, they need to get him in front of this video and let him take a look at some things that he has to get ready for. At least, I don't know how to each one to prepare. It seems like every child is different. What it takes for this child to get to this place where he needs to be, it seems like this is a different thing that it will take to get him there, but through prayer and through continuously working and through caring, you can teach your children, even when they're in their late teens and early 20s, to take responsibility for, and if you wait that long, it's going to be harder, I guarantee it. Okay, but this is what the Bible says about it. I'm going to start like verse 3, 1 Timothy 5 verse 3. It says, honor widows that are widows indeed. And you could go along somewhere with it and make up something that rhymes with it. Not the ones who are just in greed. But that is basically the meaning for it. You know, there's a lot of widows out there that don't need help. You know, and this is talking about widows that are true widows, meaning that if they're a person in need, you need to help those kind of folks. It's the church's responsibility. Okay, and in doing these kind of things, when you help others, you're helping yourself. Teach your children to care about other people. Verse 4. But if any widow have children or nephews, let them learn first to show piety or charity at home, and to requite their parents. For that is good and acceptable before God. Now, she that is a widow indeed and desolate, trust in God, and continueth in supplications and prayers night and day. It's enough, girls. Knock it off.
I got him, honey.
But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. Okay, we're leading up to the responsibility. And of course, this is not just young men, but this is young ladies too. Okay? If you just live, you know, and I know people like that. The young lady going out into life, and she lives just for the pleasure of living, and for how many young men she can attract and all that kind of thing. She's leading her life into a terrible place, and there's no future in that, you know. So I'm thinking of several instances in the Bible where talked about young ladies that did that, left the heritage of their family, went out, sought after men on every occasion, and the Bible tells us that that brought a curse into their lives. Two sisters that come to mind in the Bible, and for you Bible readers, you know who I'm talking about. I don't want to go through that. Verse 7, and these things give in charge, that they may be blameless. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. And I want to say, let that be young man or young woman, because there's a responsibility on both sides there, especially those that bear children and have a responsibility for that child. Listen, God's not going to let you off the hook just because you go out and you get an abortion, because there's a lot of penalties to pay in abortion. They try to tell you that everything will be fine, you just put it out of your mind and just be something of the past. But neither the mom nor the dad of that child will ever forget what they have done. You can get consolation for the rest of your life, and you'll probably need it if you keep thinking that stuff like that is fine. That's shirking responsibility. And I've seen men that work harder shirking their responsibility than if they would just go ahead and do that thing which they need to do. Some young men, they spent their lives in jail trying to shirk responsibility. You know, I tell you what, jail life is a lot harder than life out here. Yeah, you have to work, you have to show up every day on a job and stuff like that. But now, you're going to work in there. You work out here. Why not learn the ropes out here just like you do in there? And that way you get paid for what you do. You know, in there you don't get paid nothing, and you have to fight to keep yourself alive.
70 cents a day.
You know, 70 cents a day. Okay. Yay, let's all go. Right? No, let's don't. You think that's funny, Sissy? Yeah. But you know, and to tell you the truth, man, I'm to the place now where a lot of people do this, and I know that some folks would like you not to, but you have to work even when you're sick, because when you if you want to get ahead in life, you got to pay the price to get ahead. You know, a lot of kids don't understand. Every time they get a little sniffle or they get up with a stomach ache, they don't want to go to school. But you know, something we didn't do with that with our children. We taught our children, look, if you're not running a fever, you're going to school. And they all did. And right now today, all three of our children that we raised are having good jobs. They all have a place to stay. They all have a house. They keep up their children.
Adam don't
fairly.
Quit her job yesterday.
That's my in-law. But my daughter, who is married to him, she does a great job. You know.
Quit her job.
Oh, she quit her job yesterday? Yeah, but she'll have another one. She's had one for how many years now?
A long time.
And she always keeps a job. So if she quit her job, it had to be something drastic. They just don't walk away in any instance. But and that's a good point. Where you're not going to make things perfect. You don't try to do it to make things perfect, but you make it for the overall responsibility of keeping the faith, just like it says right here. Do what it takes to provide the loving things for your family, which is our reasonable responsibility. Okay, God bless. Thank you for joining me. See you again next time with a great message right here, Crossing the Middle Ministry.